The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, thank you for staying by and welcome to YOMLab's webinar series. We will just wait for 2 minutes, some more people are walking in and we'll start with the session. Today's webinar topic is Service Desk Automation for Manufacturing Industry. I'm Nilesh, your host for the webinar today. Our presenter for today's session is Beena Dhage and Ankita Nair. Beena is an ITIL expert. She brings in more than 15 plus years of experience in ITIL and ITSM consulting. With this, she has expertise in Remedy and Remedy Force applications. And then Ankita will be joining to walk you through a demo. I'll just introduce you to YOMLabs. We offer end-to-end services, solutions, and trainings in IT operations management and consulting, IT infrastructure management, packaged business applications, and business intelligence. To know more about us, please visit www.yomlabs.com. Now, without taking much time, I now hand over to Beena to deliver the webinar and request all participants to post their queries on the chat window. We'll answer all your queries at the end of session. Hope the webinar will be worth your while. We will also be running some of the polls in between. Please respond to those posts so that we have genuine results. Over to Beena.
Thank you, Nilesh, and hello, good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you all to this webinar on Service Desk Automation for Manufacturing Industry. So let's look at the agenda, which we will be covering today. First of all, we'll be looking at state of IT services in manufacturing industry and automation. We'll be looking at, is there a need for automation of the IT services in manufacturing industries? What is the ROI and what is the cost for automation? Is it viable for manufacturing industries to do the investment in automation? Then we'll move on to service desk and self-service. What are the services a service desk typically provides and how self-service helps? How tickets which are generated are executed manually if there is no automation there. And then finally, we'll be looking at Automation Edge, a solution YOMLabs has built, which is offered as a service. We'll look into its architecture, and then we also have a demo of how this tool works. The key takeaways from this webinar is we will try to establish the need of automation for manufacturing sector, and then when we agree that there is need and a justifiable ROI for automation, we will discuss how we can start the journey in automation and get the benefits as well as the small steps you can take to achieve this. How to keep lights on using Virtual Engineer and redeploy your staff in important projects and innovation. So today, when you look at the expectations from IT in manufacturing sector, we see that IT services provided by manufacturing industries, the challenges which we face are umpteen. Today, manufacturers are struggling to deal with increasingly complex IT estates. According to analysis, 83% of the firms report a rise in the IT complexity, driven by more users, increased locations, and distributed locations. There are new applications coming every day, and we are also adopting to cloud computing. Due to the poorly performing IT applications, it has been seen that it results in the average reduction in overall revenue to almost 20%. Common business problems caused by poorly functioning IT systems include products being shipped late, lower employee productivity, as well as customer complaints. Today, communication and access has become a key factor. Add to this the fact that the users often have their own devices, work in different shift hours, and require unfettered access to systems, some even requiring remote access. We need to make sure that they get access as well as the support. Today, Business is asking CIOs to do more with less, while demanding the benefits offered by advanced applications like cloud applications or BYOD, which can be transformative for collaborative improvements. Manufacturing sectors' top 3 IT objectives today include productivity improvements, cost reductions, and of course, trying new ways and implementing new applications. Above all, we are expected to have the latest and the greatest technology at all the times. But with the economic challenges facing all of us in manufacturing, meeting these lofty expectations is a continuous struggle. With the budget cuts, you have to do more with less staff. We still need to keep the lights on. We need to ensure that the current applications are running, run the operations, and meet with the expectations of the organization. With digitization, IT in manufacturing sector is expected to take a creative approach and innovate to grow their services and to reap the benefits. Before I proceed ahead, Nilesh, I request you to put over the polling question, and I request you all to contribute for the same.
Yeah, so which of the following does your current IT service management system supports? Is it incident management? Is it incident problem management, change management, service level management? Or is it all of the above plus self-service, or is it none of the above? All right, so we have the results here. So 50% have incident management only, and 17% have incident, problem, change level, and service level management, and rest have 33% have all and self-service. Over to Beena.
Thank you, Nilesh. So let's proceed further. Let's look at the challenges which IT faces today. Looking at the current situation in manufacturing industry, with the limited staff that we have, and most of them today are occupied doing the L1, L2 level tasks to keep the lights on. Most of these tasks you'll find are repetitive in nature. We sometimes even have our L3 level skilled resources getting pulled into doing these L1 and L2 mundane tasks. So even if there is an interest and intention to start a new project which will help to grow, there is no time or no resources available to work in these new areas. IT, we find, gets strangled in just keeping the lights on. Lack of funds is something which I already discussed a little earlier. Looking at the state of IT, most of the industries today we find, and as per the polling question also we have seen, do have a service desk tool implemented. Service requests are raised or incidents are raised. There are standard operating procedures which are well documented. Mostly resolution or the fulfillment of the request is done manually. Sometimes there might be some automation, as there could be maybe some small scattered scripts, or maybe there is some limited automation, like when a new employee joins the organization. There would be scripts to provision a new user on an application or maybe on a Unix server, but all are normally run manually by engineers who know how to run them. Looking at the value automation can provide, we observed that from the various different industry surveys, the IT operations staff cost is very high, around 50% of the overall cost of IT. The service desk personnel cost is about 85% of that, according to Gartner research. Automation today, we have found, as per Gartner's research, can drive down this cost by almost 60%. Let us see how it is possible to have such level of cost reduction. So if you look at the ROI from automation, and I request you all again, there is a small little polling question again coming up for you all. So Nilesh, can you please put it up?
So for that, we need to know what percent of your staff time is spent in mundane repetitive tasks. All right, so we have the results here. So around 57% have a slot of 21 to 40%. Over to Beena.
Okay, so from the result we see that more than 50% of your staff is busy doing these repetitive mundane tasks. There are many such tasks and the service requests in IT which we found are repetitive in nature, like password resets, user provisioning on AD, or health checks of critical applications, which could be like maybe your ERP applications or your CRM systems. To ensure they are running smoothly, you could be having health checks happening of your critical applications. You could be doing provisioning on VMware or maybe on a public cloud. If we can automate such mundane, repetitive tasks, we will definitely be able to save on the bandwidth of our L1, L2 resources, or even getting our L3 getting involved in solving these L1 or L2 tickets. You can free up your resources and allow your staff to focus on more strategic IT initiatives instead of spending their time on doing these repetitive tasks. You can definitely even ensure that you eliminate the manual errors which happen. You can provide them with quicker response time to your customers. You can improve the service quality by up to 70% by taking actions automatically in response to the user's request. So looking at the ROI from automation, I'll take an example over here, looking at to understand the ROI. So for that, let me take an example of where our observations when we have done, say, maybe server health implementations at our client locations. If we found that it takes about 10 to 12 minutes for each health check. So let us say that we have around 5 or 6 such servers. So it will take around 1 hour to complete the health check. So say, for example, if it is done daily, say we are talking about maybe 20 times in a month, then if we say in 12 months, and the cost of performing this task is say around $60, then we are talking about a yearly saving of around $14,400 from just one of the tasks. And if the cost of automating such tasks is just going to cost you maybe a fraction of this cost which you have incurred with just the manual execution, well, then it's a no-brainer. Along with saving cost, if you're going to get the benefit of timely response to business and reduction of errors as machine is doing this task for you, definitely one should invest in such automation tools. So I hope you all agree with me for this. Now let's look at the TCO for automation. I'm talking about the total cost of ownership. So now if we look at the cost involved in implementing automation tools, if you look at the tool cost today, the task automation tools typically are designed for large enterprises. The costs are prohibitively very high for some industries. So this normally becomes an entry barrier for most organizations to go in for such automation tools, as well as maintaining them. Because when we are talking about maintaining, we know that our applications might change. So when applications change, we are going to have our standard operating procedures which change. Maybe sometimes even the service test tool might change. So in all these scenarios, you will have to keep your automation up to date. And this is what is going to be the overall cost in automation, the total cost of ownership for automation. There has to be a solution that will definitely provide you with a lower TCO for automation for the manufacturing industry. Make it easier for you to adopt. That is what actually pushed us to build this solution, Vyom Automation Edge. And when we took it to our customers, they were really happy to get a tool which is catering to their needs. Vyom Automation Edge, let me tell you a little more about this tool now, is a runbook automation solution built for organizations. It is like a virtual engineer who solves the incidents, performs the tasks, completes the service request for you, which, as we saw earlier, are the ones which are generally done by your L1 or L2 engineers. The advantages it provides you is definitely, we saw, cost saving. So you'll have fewer L1 and L2 engineers who will be required for it. They can focus on the most strategic initiatives you are taking in your organization. Absolutely no manual errors. So zero errors, unlike human engineer. And definitely faster response to business. Zero wait time. You're providing immediate resolution of fulfillment. Business users' time is definitely saved. So here you get better customer satisfaction too. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a runbook automation solution providing you the end-to-end service desk automation, helping you to fulfill the service requests which are generated automatically. Your customers or your users, which I will talk about over here, can use the self-service portal to request for these services. You will have the remediation of the incidents happening automatically. When we're talking about the architecture of the automation edge, it has actually majorly pre-built adapters for service desk solutions. Say, for example, for Unix or Linux servers using SSH, or for Windows servers using PowerShell. It has many adapters, base adapters, and application adapters, like for applications like Salesforce or EBS, etc. This tool is offered as a service. It is an OpEx model where you pay per year cost instead of a CapEx. We as Vyom Labs, as company, we maintain this automation for you throughout the subscription period. There is absolutely no additional cost for maintaining the automation. So it definitely has a lower TCO, as you have the option for going for automation for 10 tasks at a time, which you can provide the maximum benefits of. You can choose tasks which are done repetitively and frequently to get the maximum benefits. So this definitely will act as a stepping stone for your automation journey, where later on you can also go in for compliance like SOX and HIPAA, etc. So let's look at now, how do we identify which of our requests and tasks are the best candidates for automation? So for that, what you will have to do is study the service desk tickets which occur frequently. So the frequently occurring requests. Say, for example, you could be getting a lot of requests for test virtual machines on cloud. Well, that can become one of the best candidates for automation. Or maybe something like password resets. This is what has been observed, that if you're looking at something like password reset, if it has been done manually in enterprises or organization, it can even cost you something like $15 to $20. This is what the research said. Or sometimes you could also look at an automation candidate, which could be your server health checks, which you do. So what you need to do is finalize which are these frequently occurring service requests. What is the feasibility? Can I go in for automation of these? Identify the frequency, identify the feasibility for automation, finalize those, and I'm sure you will get the best returns of the investments which you do. So automation, and how do we get started with automation? So first, put the right service desk and your ITSM system to meet with your business demand. You could be having any of the applications. It could be a BMC Remedy application, or it could be an HPSM application, or it could be a cloud-based Remedyforce application which you have. What all features does it have? Does it provide your end users with the self-service portal from where they can log their tickets and their request, or does it provide a facility on a mobile app? Does it have an incident and problem management module in it, or a service level and change module, or for that matter even asset or CMDB? How do your service desk normally get these tickets? Do they receive most of the time phone calls, or are these requests and incidents sent through emails, or is it majorly done through the self-service portal? How do you do the assignment of these requests and incidents which come through? I'm sure you must be definitely assigning them to the different queues for manual resolution or fulfillment. Once you have these things in place, that's when actually you start using your ITSM tool. So typically, if you look at the scenario where we are doing manual resolution of the service requests and incidents, so whenever these service requests or incidents are raised by the end users, there are manual tasks which get assigned to your support staff. These tasks are then done by your support teams, where they go and perform the tasks on the various different target systems. Comparing Automation Edge now and how Automation Edge works, let's have a look at that. So now let's see how Automation Edge is going to work for you. When we're talking about Automation Edge, again, typically we are talking about now service requests and incidents. As I said, you could be using any different ITSM tool. So they are going to be raised through these various different ITSM tools. And now here, instead of it getting assigned to any of your support teams, here, these service requests or incidents which you have identified as the best candidates for automation will get assigned to the automation queue. Once it is assigned to the automation queue, you will have the Beyond Automation Edge now coming here into action, where our Automation Edge tool will now interact with the various different target systems and fulfill these requests or resolve the incidents. With this, I request Ankita if she can take over now, and she will show you a brief demo of how the Automation Edge tool will work for you. So over to Ankita.
Yeah, so in between, by the time Ankita joins in, I have a small poll here, and just have answer on that. We are actually organizing a hands-on workshop between 13th to 15th of October, and if you would like to participate in this, and if yes, which is your preferred date? So just poll on that, and we will accordingly make arrangements. All right. So now over to Ankita.
Thanks, Nilesh. Thanks, Beena. So I would be taking you through a quick demo of how Viome Automation Edge is integrated with a service desk. And here we are using a Remedyforce as a service desk. We can even implement this with different service desks like Remedy or Service Core or Track IT. I'll be showing you 3 use cases today. The first one is creating an EC2 machine, an Amazon EC2 machine. So you can see here that I have logged in into Remedyforce application, and I have gone into the self-service portal, and I am going to select create EC2 machine service request. So in this we have 3 mandatory parameters which we need to specify. So you can even increase the number of parameters if you need, or even you can adjust it according to your need. So here we would be selecting Ubuntu server as operating system, type as T1 micro, and number of instances as 1, and I'll just submit the request. So once this request is submitted, you can go on to the Remedy4 console, and you can see that this particular service request has been raised. So we will just wait until it has been raised. Yeah, so it has been raised successfully. So let's go to the Remedy4 console and refresh this page. Here you can see that a new service request, create EC2 machine, has been opened. So the status is open. I'll just click on this incident. So over here you can see that this particular service request has been assigned to Viome automation queue. So as Beena had explained before, this is how Viome Automation Edge understands that this particular service request has to be automated. So creating an EC2 machine takes around 3 to 4 minutes. So I'll just go ahead with the next service request and come back after some time to see whether this has been automated. So I'll go back to service request again and click on account and access services. First, we will create an AD user, that's an Active Directory user. So I'll just click on the service request. Here again, we have 3 mandatory parameters. So first is the SAM account name. I'll give it as Tony P. First name is Tony and last name is P, and I will submit this request. Until this is fulfilled, let us even submit the other request, that is create Unix user. So I'll just click on service request create Unix user. And here I have only one mandatory parameter, that is the username. So I will just enter Tony as the username and submit. So let's go to the Remedy4 console and go to instance and service request and refresh this page. So here you can see that 2 service requests have been added, that is create AD user and create Unix user. So even these 2 service requests will be assigned to Viome automation queue, and you can see that create Unix user has already been closed. So let us go and check. So here we have resolution as closed by Viome automation, and it has given you the username which we had supplied during creation of the service request and a randomly generated password. So let me just log in into the Unix server where this user was created. So let me just copy this password and open. So I'll enter Tony and the password, and it has entered. So this is how we create a Unix user. So similarly, if there is an error, so as we have already created this user Tony, so if someone else comes and raises the same request with the same username, we will see how Viome Automation Edge handles it. So let me just go and create the Unix user. And I will give the username as Tony again. So let me just enter Tony and submit this request. So this has been raised successfully. Let us go back to the Remedy4 console and refresh. Yeah. So here you can see that the create Unix user is open. And here you can see that the staff is assigned to automation staff. So this is because some error had occurred and it has reassigned the staff so that it can have manual intervention and the person can actually see what the error was. So if you go into record details in action history, you can see that you have an error message given by Viome Automation Edge saying that user Tony exists. So let us check whether our Amazon EC2 machine has been created. So I'll just refresh this page. Until then, I'll just log in to the console, AWS console. So here you can see that the EC2 machine has been closed. And let's reload this. So here in the resolution, you can see it has given a few parameters back, like which user, what's the password, and what's the IP address of your Amazon EC2 machine. So let us compare this, whether it has been actually created or no. So I'll just log into the Amazon cloud. So let me just enter this. So you saw how quick Viome Automation Edge is actually for fulfilling these automatable requests. So I've just gone to EC2 and I can see one instance which is running. Okay, and here we have the public IP address as 184.140. So let's go back to the Remedyforce console and you can see the same IP address which is being given here. So basically you can log into this machine which is up and running with this particular username and password. So I'll hand it over to Beena to continue the presentation.
Thank you, Ankita, for this splendid demo on Automation Edge using the BMC Remedyforce application. As Ankita mentioned earlier, Automation Edge works with any of your ITSM tools. For this demo purpose, we use the BMC Remedyforce application. So moving on ahead, and let me share with you certain analytics and reports generated. So as you saw during the demo, that it was just a matter of seconds that we had two of our service requests getting fulfilled. So if you look at this report, you find that if I have to see, now she showed you a demo of creating an Amazon EC2 machine, as well as she showed you a demo of creating a user on Unix. And if we look at the average time to close these tickets, you'll find that the average time to close creating a user on Unix was just 1.75 seconds. Coming to creating an Amazon EC2 machine, well, it just took 5 seconds. What more can we ask for? So, well, these are the kind of reports also which you can analyze, and I'm sure now you all agree that Automation Edge would be the right tool for your organization too. So closing remarks is today we saw how manufacturing industry IT struggles with limited resources. Having a good service desk, mobile service, self-service application and ITSM tool is a must. Not all systems available in the market are equal. Choose them to meet the current and future demands of IT. That's very important. We saw how automation can help in reducing the cost and deploy resources and innovations. We saw how Viome Automation Edge can help you get started in the automation journey with minimum cost, minimum risk, and provide you with the immediate ROI. I thank you all for the time. If you have any queries, you can always email to us on info@viomelabs.com. Now, if you have any questions, you all can post them on the chat window and we will be happy to answer them for you.
Thank you very much, Beena. Thank you very much, Ankita. Thank you all the audience, and thank you for your patience listening. We hope the webinar was worth your while. We are just taking the questions now one by one. And if you have any questions, if you run out of time, you can anyways email it at info@vyomlabs.com. Meanwhile, I will just share that we are also participating at BMC Engage conference, wherein we are going to speak. Our CEO is going to speak on various topics related to Remedy 9 upgrade. We also have a booth there, so in case if your US counterparts are visiting, please ask them to visit booth number 510 to have a look at a demo of Automation Edge. So one of the query which has come up is, Beena, you showed in one of the slides that first thing you have to do is have a ITSM in place. So is there any, we are in the evaluation phase, and is there any ITSM that you recommend?
Well, I cannot say that one tool is better than the other, but yes, it will all depend on your business needs. Are you looking out for all the modules? So you're looking out for a tool which is, ITIL compliant, provides you a mobile app, a self-service portal for your users to log their tickets. I would recommend going for, we are the premier solution partners for BMC software, and I can talk about those tools because I have worked on them. So if you are going, or if you are maybe looking for something where you may be having some maybe budget constraints or for limited set of users, you can go in for a cloud-based application like BMC Remedy Force. You saw that in the demo. If you're going in for a large-scale implementation which you would like to use, you also have BMC Remedy. You also have smaller tools like Trackit, Service Core. So I would recommend any of these tools would be good. It will all depend on the size of your business.
Yeah, so I'm just going to read another question in the queue.
So it says over here, some tasks required authorization before run. Is there provision to perform it on authorization? Yes, definitely. Like in the tool which we showed you just now, BMC Remedy Force, there is a feature where you can first, as soon as a request is created, it can go in for approval. Say for example, if I am the submitter of the request, it should first go to my manager for approval. Once my manager has approved it, then maybe Automation Edge can take over that task and fulfill that task for you. It can be very much done in this manner. Any more questions?
Yeah, so we have a couple of more questions, but I think we are running out of time already. We will, of course, answer those queries, through emails. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patient listening. Thank you, all the presenters. Have a good day.
Yes, you can always post your questions on info@vyomlabs.com. Thank you, everyone.